Hi, folks. This is Peter Boykin, and this hashtag Go Right. I'm going to start doing a lot more podcasts. And today I would like to talk about this whole student loan issue because it's been a hot button topic that's caused a lot of dissent within parties and against parties, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of people have fell for the trap. So we'll be right back after a short little intro to tell you about my podcast. We'll be right back. Hi, fellow patriots. This is Peter Boykin from hashtag Go Right. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like it, and share this right now. Time to go right. Okay, the student loans has been a hot button topic, and I'm going to be full disclosure. I will benefit from this $10,000, $20,000 college rebate. No, it's not going to get it's not going to get Joe Biden's vote out of me. Hardly anybody voted for Joe Biden. People need to understand that. It was a completely fixed election. Donald Trump won. I'm a Republican. At the end of the day, I'm a Republican. No matter what you want to try to say, you might want to say I'm not a conservative. You might want to say all sorts of different things about me. I've heard all sorts of nasty things because if you have a different opinion than somebody else, if you don't go along with the talking points and the sheep and whoever the celebrities are out there and the politicians are speaking, and even Donald Trump made a small mistake on this, then you must not be a conservative. You must not be a Republican. You must not be with the crowd. That's a lie. Now, let me tell you something, folks. Let me tell you something really quickly. Everything that's put out makes absolutely no sense. Somebody tried to say, well, you went to college. You probably didn't have economics. You know, that was one good thing that I actually got A+ in economics and things like that. But I went to school for IT. Information technology, and a hire there's supposed to be jobs everywhere. They're saying they're hiring, and I've tried to explain this multiple times to people. When I went to college, it took me a very long time to go to college, back and forth. I couldn't just go to college and be able to pay my bills. I was out of the house at that time. My parents were off in another state, having to deal with jobs and things. And I was there taking my community college and trying to live in a house that was too expensive. The utilities were high and everything. I remember bicycling around the corner of my landlord, who was a crackhead, basically, while paying enormous prices for our utility bill because the house was crappy and leaking and everything else. But I got my degree in 2000, my associate's degree. In 2000, I didn't get back involved in college. Well, I started trying to take a course over at Averett College, didn't do well, just wasn't in it for me. And I tried to take a couple of different things, and I finally went back to college to start working about so many years later. I went back to college, and I tried to do online college for a little while. And eventually, actually, I went to North Carolina Central University, which is a black college, national black college. Didn't have any problems. People say, oh, you're probably going to get extra money. You're a minority here. No, that's not the case. They tried multiple times, not taking my other half as my dependent. And I had to fight people. I had to fight people at Danville Community College, and I had to fight people in North Carolina Central. I didn't even get my full Pell Grants because they would not accept the fact that he was my dependent. It's crazy. But college was pretty cheap at the National Black College, North Carolina Central. I was able to go to school and work at the time, and it worked out pretty well. I was going to continue having IT courses there, but at that time they had a science-based type IT course. Hi, everybody who's tuning in. I see Brock. I see Skylar. What happened when I was at school? Yeah, you got to take out loans, and you got to take out a little extra loans to try to take care of some of your expenses, your house expenses. I didn't stay on campus, so I had to take care of it. Got to the point where they did not offer the courses I needed. So I had to start doing online courses. Now, online courses really don't teach you as good as college. It really doesn't. It was still a new thing, and it was very expensive, 2,000 plus per course. Very expensive, way more expensive when it paid to go to an actual brick and mortar school, but I couldn't afford to keep going there. And they didn't offer what I needed. So I went for many years and I worked multiple jobs. I once actually was on a reality show and was working 3 jobs and going to online college at the same time. I had decent jobs in IT, but we had a job in IT that paid us very minimal. And I worked my way up until cancel culture kind of got me kicked out of that job after working for them 9 years. And I couldn't move to San Francisco or whatever they wanted me to move, San Diego or San Antonio. And I couldn't move. So what happened for me was I eventually was able to graduate with my bachelor's, thinking that I could get an IT job. I tried, I applied, I interviewed, and I applied for many, 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 many years for good IT jobs. Supposed to be in Durham in the RTP area, which is supposed to be big on IT jobs. And this is way before I got political. But unless you have an in with a local college or something like that, it's hard to get hired. It really is. I've gone on many, many interviews. Had lots of skills. Tried. And the place that I worked for wasn't really good on your resume because everybody saw the company I worked for and what I did as like the working at Walmart of IT, even though I worked hard. Meanwhile, my loans stacked up. And I always qualified, and still to today, for deferment. Meanwhile, your loans stack up. Barack Obama even talked about how he wanted to lower our college loans, that it was a big problem and blah, blah, blah. But he did the exact opposite. And instead of getting rid of subsidized loans, which means there's no interest, they increased the amount of unsubsidized loans. And by the time that I graduated, I had close to $200,000 in college loans. That's a huge bill. I ended up getting 2 master's degrees in IT, and it was Kaplan University, which is now part of Purdue University because Kaplan had such a bad reputation of not ensuring that their people would get jobs after the fact. So here I was, no good job, been promised a good job in the IT field, couldn't find one. Been applying for years, working as many jobs as possible, started doing Uber and everything else I could to get where I needed to go. Wasn't going anywhere. College loans stacked up. And believe me, folks, I couldn't pay for the college loans while I was going to college because I needed every dime I could to pay the bills. Rent's high as hell in Durham, North Carolina. Utilities high as hell. Paying for just the basic necessities. Working, going to school. Working. Nothing lazy. No gender studies for me. None of that. It was all for the future. The folks around 2008 or whatever until then started getting a little bit more politically charged, politically activated. The internet was coming into full play, even bigger. Cancel culture was coming, especially when Donald Trump came in office. Here I was. I want to give you a job. That didn't happen. Things got worse for me. Things absolutely got worse for me. And losing jobs. I lost a job because the guy didn't like Donald Trump, and he knew that I liked Donald Trump. He knew I was an activist for Donald Trump. They knew they were going to let me go in July, but they let me go in that right before Christmas of 2016, right after Donald Trump got elected. That's when everything kind of went to crap for me. No longer had a good job. And I stayed at that job instead of staying at the job that I had in Cary the long term because they wanted me to come back in. Long story there. I ended up having no job. So since Donald Trump was in office, I struggled. Getting underpaid. And eventually, I worked my way, still working every day, paycheck to paycheck, like a lot of people. The bills are higher. The bills are stacked. So some of you folks say, well, I'm just trying to avoid my college loans. I know that's a long story. No, I absolutely would love to be able to have the ability to pay back my college loans. And no, I don't think it's exactly fair that you would have to pay back my college loans. But there's plenty of taxes that I pay or don't pay or whatever it is that pays for people that I don't want, pays for things that I want. We pay to Ukraine. We pay to Israel. We pay, let me get this. Where's the big complaining? And I'm sure people have. The fact that people get money back from the IRS who never put money into the IRS just because they have children. I didn't make that life choice to have children. I'd like to have children. Where's my money for not having children? Why am my tax dollars paying for things that I don't like? So, a lot of people want to ridicule and want to complain. Republicans are falling for this. Okay, first, the Democrats fall for this because they've been wanting college for free. The system is wrong. The system is absolutely wrong. And they're falling. The Democrats are falling. And I even read this thing about the Democrats are divided on it. The government, quite literally, is making money off of us and our college loans. Back in with Barack Obama, they started buying all of our college loans. Okay? They bought all of our college loans. They assumed the debt with the interest rates, high interest rates, and have to try to explain to people, if I wanted to start paying that principal off of $200,000, which is rise to like $250,000, $260,000 now, if I was to pay $1,000 a month, which I can't afford, it still would not catch up to the principal. Because that's $50,000 to $60,000 of interest and keeps going up, folks. Most people's college loans are interest. Okay? So the Democrats are fooled with this, and I don't think he's going to get a bunch of votes. I really don't, out of it. The interest should be completely wiped out. So that's not enough. And then, because this helps our American citizens, we're talking about Americans first. This is supposed to help our American citizens out, right? Then why are Republicans now complaining about people, Americans, getting some kind of break from the government? But yet these are the same Republicans, the politicians or whatever, who voted to give money to other countries. And it's yelling this red and yellow pin on, to support Ukraine, you know, blue and yellow pins, or whatever way it is, blue and yellow pins. I want to support Ukraine and send them a lot of money. The first time we have to help Americans first, American citizens first. So Democrats fall into the trap where Republicans fall into that, where Democrats have said multiple times, well, the Republicans don't care about us, et cetera, et cetera. And we look like straight up assholes. We really do. Now, for some of you who paid attention to this video and stayed through it all, maybe you get a little bit more idea of my life and how I'm going through. I'm working as hard as I can to try to pay and take care of regular life, and I just don't have the money to pay back the college loans, and I don't expect you to really pay it back neither. But let me explain to you before I end this video that none of you, really, nobody's tax dollars is paying for any of this bill that just came out. For almost every single person out there, we already have a lot of interest built on our loans. So this only helps people who started out and maybe dropped out or whatever, and a few people. So it costs a little bit. But mainly think about this. I graduated with $200,000 of loans. I have $250,000, $260,000 now. That's $50,000 to $60,000 now of interest. Now think of things as a product. The product is $200,000. $200,000 is what the government already spent 10-something years ago on me. Tax dollars already spent, paid for it a long time ago. $200,000. Now, on top of that, they want to make money off of us. So it's $50,000 to $60,000 upcharge. It's like selling a product. That's what they want to make. They want to make a profit. $60,000 in profit on me. So the government really is now telling me, we're going to give you a $10,000 to $20,000 rebate. We're going to knock that off the $60,000 interest. We're going to still sell you the product at $240,000. Again, that's not really any money coming out of anybody's pocket. So nobody else is really paying for that. It's just a rebate, folks. For most cases, this is just a rebate. And make it worse, people are saying that at the end of the year now, the taxes will say that this is money that they took off, and you're going to have to pay taxes on a $20,000 or $10,000 break. How is this actually money in my bank? This is interest. So I'm going to have to pay taxes because I get a break on interest? That makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. So what I'm telling you folks is at the end of the day, your tax dollars is not paying for any of this in reality. I don't care how many e-celebs, politicians, et cetera, tell you otherwise. They want to make this a huge Republican standing point. They absolutely want to cause all sorts of problems. They get you to sit there and attack me when you don't understand. And how come people say this? Well, if you took a trade and you could just go out and make your money or whatever, you could go buy your products and, probably worked hard and got their business going and everything and trade. Yeah, but let me tell you, if you went out and spent a bunch of money and got trucks and equipment and stuff like that, and this has happened during the COVID, and you happen to end up having bad business or had to go out of business, at the end of the day, you might actually be able to keep some of that product and you get to go bankrupt. So if your life choice is to take a trade and things don't go well, you can go bankrupt. So my supposedly bad choice or whatever is to go to college, which is all set up against us. It is basically a guaranteed government loan to whatever stupid course you want to take, even good courses and even crappy courses. There's people who specialize on climate change, or does the chewing gum flavor lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? Stupid things. The colleges keep raising courses, and the colleges get paid. So who should be paying? Who really should be paying? How colleges? We need to get rid of a lot of the pulp and the crap that's inside, the extra crap that's in colleges. Like, we don't need to take extra languages. We don't need to be taking extra higher math. And to make the college education experience more and more expensive. More and more expensive. Oh, yeah, diversity training, gender studies, et cetera, et cetera. Remember, folks, it's liberal arts. Liberal arts. And you're surprised that your kids go off. You're conservative people who send their kid off to college are wondering why did my kid become such a crazy liberal? You sent him to a liberal arts school. It's called liberal arts. You sent your kid off to practice liberalism. Liberal arts. It's in the name. But I'm telling you, recap is it's a product. $200,000 was what they paid originally. $260,000 is what I owe. $60,000 markup. The government's giving me a $10,000 to $20,000 rebate on the markup. At the end of the day, they still want $240,000. The government is still making $40,000. So think about that. You paid off your college loans, and the government made money off of you. It's not free. They loaned money to us. They want it back, but they're screwing us. And they've been screwing us our whole lives. Because the minute we're born, we part of the system. We make money for the government. Yes, I know the government provides a lot of services for us, but they also pull red lights behind me and want to give me a speeding ticket every 5 seconds. I swear it's been 10-some years and I can't go without some kind of stupid ticket. Some kind of stupid ticket that I have to worry about going. Or some kind of crap that I got to go to for my car accidents or whatever. Tax. Tax. It's all we do. You get taxed. So when the government want to offer me something, I'm going to take it. I'm sure plenty of you took that check that Donald Trump got us for COVID. We deserved it. We didn't get enough. It's our money. I should have some of it back. And is Social Security going to help me when I get older? Probably not. They're going to take 25% of it to pay back those college loans. That's what we're going to do. I've already looked it up. They can take 20. I'm still going to owe. And they're going to take money out. They're going to start taking money out of my check probably. They'll take money. They're going to find a way to get money out of you. And since I became political, I've been audited almost every single year in my IRS. They're about to hire 87,000 more agents to basically go after us all. It's ridiculous. So do you now understand a little bit of what I'm going through? And I will gladly talk to any of y'all, but anybody wants to call me a not conservative or a criminal or lazy or worthless or anything else just because I am okay with this college rebate, whatever crap, I'm all for changing the system. I'm all for making the system better. But I think I should be deserved the right to bankruptcy as well. To get me a fresh start, to start over. And it pisses me off that the government's always spending money on things that aren't helping American citizens. Where is it? So I'm going to have to say about this right now. I'm going to probably complain with more people, remove people, unfriend people, block people, et cetera, on the subject. But think about it, folks. Think about it. Just that's what I'm asking you. Think about it. All right? God bless everybody. Thanks for listening to Go Right with Peter Boykin. Please like this post, and please subscribe and follow and share this podcast to all your social media accounts, and visit GoRightNews.com for more Go Right News with Peter Boykin. If you like what you hear, help support the podcast by donating. The link to donate is on GoRightNews.com. Thank you for your support.
Check out this news story and more on GoRightNews.com and the podcast #GoRight with Peter Boykin.
Go right and register to vote. Your vote matters, so vote. Go right and vote. #Go right. Go right. Do right. Be right. Go right. Do right. Be right. Lead right. Think right. Vote right. Vote right. Think right. Lead right. #Go right. It's time to join the Go Right movement. It is time to #Go Right for America. Join us at GoRight.us and GoRightNews.com. It is time for the Great American Revival, and it is time to #Go Right for America.
Thanks again, everybody, for listening to this, and please share it everywhere. Again, this has been #GoRight with Peter Boykin, a part of GoRightNews.com.